Carolina Senator Ted Budd is pushing the government of Qatar to help free Keith Siegel, a Triangle native still being held hostage by Hamas. There is no word yet on when Siegel may go free or when Congress will approve more funding for Israel. Budd says spending on U.S. border security has to come first. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie talked with Senator Budd today about both issues.
Chapel Hill native Keith Siegel and his wife Aviva live in Israel in a kibbutz near the border with Gaza. They were among the hundreds of hostages kidnapped by Hamas on October 7th. Aviva was released last week, but Siegel remains a captive. I asked North Carolina Senator Ted Budd if he could provide any updates on Siegel's potential location or condition.
That's not really anything we can discuss, and we're going to push each and every day for the Qataris to do more, and again, be meaningfully engaged in this.
Qatar is a U.S. ally that has served as a go-between in negotiations with Hamas. However, several Hamas leaders live in Qatar's capital, Doha.
They need to be extradited to the U.S. and prosecuted in our courts of law for murdering U.S. citizens.
Budd said he supports Israel's attack on Gaza, but said he cannot unconditionally support further funding for Israel.
Before, I think Americans need to spend taxpayer dollars to support countries overseas, and Israel would be at the top of that list, of course. They're one of our greatest allies in what can be a very unstable region. But before we do that, we have to secure our southern borders.
That's been the position of many Republicans in negotiations with the Biden administration.
Why can't we do two things at one time?
We can do two things at one time. But let's do that one thing, which is the southern border. So that's not being included in a meaningful way.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Also, North Carolina Congresswoman Kathy Manning has been working for Siegel's safe release. Manning, a Democrat, does not agree with making aid to Israel conditional. In a statement, she said, in part, Republicans have decided they're willing to sacrifice our allies and our national security to make partisan gains on domestic priorities. You can find more of her statement on WRAL.com. Just search NC Capitol.